I mean, when I was scrolling down, I thought it was two separate things. So that's my thoughts on it. And I agree. Get rid of the Seth. Nobody wants to call you Seth anyway. Get that out of here. um, I mean, there's none that I mean Warren's I'm not mad at honestly because it's so different. It's plain, it's simple, but it it works. It's a complete thought. I'll say that. I mean, they could have done something in there that make sure it's a presidential thing, not just Warren.
Welcome back to another episode of the IC Pixels podcast. This is your host with the most, Dave.
Let's not do new things.
This is David.
This is Anthony.
All right, we're back for another episode. This week we're gonna cut right to it. We're gonna talk about presidential candidates. Voting season is coming up, so we wanted to do the same thing we did. I guess we did it 3 years ago. Or almost 4 years ago.
Wow, we've been doing it this long. That's crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, we did it during the last...
At least 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah. During the last election, we did an episode called Elected by Design, where we went through all the presidential candidates. At the time, there was a lot less, because we waited till later in the election, and we went over them and basically chose who we thought would win based strictly on the logo design and, their look and branding and things like that. So this year... with the amazing job that 45 has done, there are lots of candidates out there basically throwing their hat in the ring for the election. So we wanted to talk some about the different logos and the designs we're seeing and what we think is good, what we think is bad. We will probably do a follow-up episode when we actually choose who we think should win. But for this episode, basically we just want to talk about some of the designs we see and what we like, what we don't.
Yeah.
All that type
This
of
is
stuff.
the opening bracket. It's 24 logos to choose from. That's crazy. I thought it was a lot last time when we were doing all the Republican ones, though. But yeah, this is a lot.
Yep. So
how many logos they got?
I've seen different lists, but I think there's like 24.
A lot was the right answer.
Yeah.
Just you didn't get. Sorry.
I see what you're doing there.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen different lists, and I've seen some with like 24 or so logos. What I wanted to start with, there's a few like carryovers that we've addressed in the past. For instance, like Bernie Sanders. I don't think he changed his logo from the last time.
Yeah, I didn't even see him on here. Yeah, we have a list that we're looking at. We're going to put
he's on the list.
Link somewhere. Where?
I don't know.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, but he's on there.
Same logo. Yeah, so we can't really talk about him. We've already talked about him in the past. You can go back to that.
Yeah.
Episode number something or other.
It was in the single digit episodes, I believe. But yeah, we had an episode where we talked about his logo. I still think it's pretty good. It has a lot of the, what worked for Obama vibes and appealing to young people and all that type of stuff. So I have no reason to hate on it. Wow, that was our second episode 2.
Oh, wow. There we go.
2 years ago. So that one's a carryover from before. But I wanted to first comment on some of the ones I think stood out to me the most.
Is bad or good?
Well, just stood out in general in terms of they just caught my eye. So one is Steve Bullock. So one overall comment I was going to make is like a lot of these logos are not your traditional red, white, and blue. During the last election, there were a few that didn't have the traditional red, white, and blue, but they were usually like Green Party or some other offshoot party candidates. But I'm seeing like Democrats and Democrats use other colors in their logos besides the traditional red, white, and blue. So like Blasio, Steve Bullock, Pete Buttigieg,
Tulsi,
Marianne, I think her name is something. Hickenlooper, he's got some. Well, it's blue, but it's a different color.
Tulsi went with the gradient.
Tulsi, I gotta find that one. But there's Elizabeth Warren. Like a lot of different colors are going on.
Kamala.
Yeah. So I think that kind of makes some of them stand out, but on another level, I don't know. I would say some of these logos look like local candidates for local office, not necessarily
Yeah,
for like the president. Because I don't know. It's maybe just something I've seen in the past, but a lot of people just typically
you can
local
tell
offices
who's
will have regular
progressive and
ones.
who isn't based on their logo. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, so these are all
Kind
Democrats,
of.
so you would think they would all be
No, I
kind of in
mean,
the
but
same
you
area.
can tell who. In some ways, you can tell who's trying to target Middle America versus who's you know not.
Yeah. So two that I thought were interesting in the way they did things were Michael Bennett and Steve Bullock. Steve Bullock, his logo looks like it reminds me. It's not the same as like Outback Steakhouse, but it reminds me of like a restaurant logo for like a steakhouse or something
Yeah,
like that. Because the color is not a strict red or blue; it's more like a burgundy and gray, and
yeah,
it just doesn't say president, it doesn't say United States or anything. He has a little star between the name, but that's it. Um, Bennett, Michael Bennett, um,
yeah.
that has a lot of Trump vibes on to me.
I was gonna say he looks like he's targeting Trump voters by making the logo similar and just hoping to trick them.
I mean, I don't want to
But
say
with a
anything
curve.
disparaging about Trump voters, but it might work. But that logo, it looks very Trumpish to me. It reminds
Yeah.
me of the lame logo Trump used last time. Um, so yeah, I thought that was interesting. It's not a good logo by any stretch of the imagination. But I thought those two stood out to me as interesting. But those two, they're all using like the box around their name. One that's using the box around the name and looks good is Julian Castro,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's just
It's
Julian with the box around and then Castro 2020 underneath. And I thought that
yeah.
was a
And
much better implementation of the box around my name feel than
yeah.
anybody else who did it.
And his branding, like I mentioned before, he worked for Obama and he definitely has contact with the same branding department.
Hmm.
Because some of his posters and stuff, they're not as, I mean, I wouldn't say there's the same. I don't know why they picked that profile, but you can tell that he's focused on his branding and everything. He had some good people working on branding.
Yeah. One logo. Um, I thought. I mean, I don't know. I've heard about the guy a lot, and I had positive. Like everything I've heard about him has been positive, but his logo is kind of trash to me. It's Cory Booker, and Cory Booker's logo is very similar to me
To
to Tim
Tim,
Ryan.
yeah,
They both have just I'm gonna write my name and it's gonna be in two different colors, but Cory Booker's is just worse than Tim Ryan's.
it, you know, what I would say about Cory Booker's, when I first saw it, it bothered me.
Yeah, the font is weird. Something I don't know
It,
why, but it's just not good.
yeah, something's off about it, but I'm not going to say in a good way, but it does catch your eye.
Hmm.
I will say that. It forces you to look at it because it's like, it's not just something feels, that I think it's the color combination, because it's still red, white, and blue, but it's not your regular, you know,
Yeah, it's a
generic
variation of it.
American red, white, and blue. It's very different than, it's different. And it seems, something about it seems wrong
Hmm.
because he also seems wrong for the country.
I
Um,
just don't like the font. I think that's the main thing that bothers me is the font, and then I feel like it's
it's not a font that flows together.
no.
It it's kind of it's not meant to be that close together. I don't think that font was meant to be. I don't think the kerning is supposed to be that tight on that
There's
font.
some tension there, and the other thing is like the what bothers me is the space around the words. So it's like they
Yeah,
don't have any room to breathe because they're like maybe 10 pixels from the edge or whatever. I don't know,
mm,
and that bothers me because I feel like just giving those words and space around each word and space between the edge of the word and the box would just give it so much more room to breathe. It made it look a lot better, I think. Of course, a better
yeah,
font would have helped too, but just giving it a little room. Right now, it looks like it doesn't have enough room, and I'm like,
yeah,
it just bothers me.
yeah. Which speaks to him not being ready to lead the country.
Well, I mean, so I know like there's been studies about like how people, if you look at a picture of the candidates, the one that looks the most confident or is the most attractive, whatever, often wins the election. And I don't know if,
That's not what happened.
yeah,
Oh
you're right.
well, maybe confident, but not. Yeah. But anyway,
But
whatever.
I think I don't think everyone is influenced by logos, but like if I looked at the logos, I couldn't vote for that one based on that alone.
Well, and that's what we do here. We're voting purely based on design, but we can get into what it says about the person later. But um,
Yeah. Another one I feel like that has issues, in my opinion, with spacing is Bill de Blasio.
yeah, that seems. It also seems rushed.
I don't like, so the list, the ones we're looking at may not be. They might have variations of these logos that look better, but in this one we're looking at, it's got de Blasio across the top, white letters on a blue background, and then right below that it has the 2020 on a green background with blue letters. But this is another spacing issue. The 2020 is smacked right up against the word de Blasio, and it just doesn't look
Yeah,
right.
somebody made that in Word like
Yeah, it doesn't look very
five
well
minutes before he announced.
designed. I don't know. There may be
Yeah,
other variations or whatever, but that one just bothers me for reasons unknown.
yeah.
Well, for those spacing issues. If you just space that out,
I
it'd be
would
fine.
have. I don't know that it would have worked, but I probably would have tried to like if I wanted it to be that tight, then make the 2020 bleed into the blue or so. I don't know. I don't know. I just would have done it
Yeah, yeah,
differently.
yeah.
But yeah,
If the blue came down below the de Blasio and the 2020 bled into it, or if de Blasio were green, so the green bled into the de Blasio, then I'd be fine with it. Well, let me not say
yeah,
fine, but I'd feel better about it because it's like, why are those two things touching? The other thing that really bothers me is they're not actually touching. There's like a tiny little line between there. And those type of things in design, they create what my teacher used to say in
yeah,
college, a design conundrum. It's like one of those things where you design something and you put it close but not touching, and it's like it creates tension in your mind because you're like, why didn't they just move it those 2 pixels and I'd be fine? And it's
yeah.
like, ah,
And you look at it. You look at it closely. It's like the D and the O like kind of hang over there into the green, and it just
yeah.
it's rushed. It's very much rushed. I would definitely say that. Um, Sad. Um, what else stood out to you? Another one. I mean, I'll go over mine here
Well,
in a
so
second.
let me
But
let's talk my favorites. Well, another one that I think is trash is Jay Inslee. Seems like a nice guy. I don't know, but his logo again
never heard of
something.
them.
The font I think is fine. The Inslee with the red line and everything underneath it I think is fine, but that gradient in the background looks like something. It looks like a logo for like a TV company, like from 1995. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't.
Because they would have, yeah, turned it into a whole moving graphic and everything.
Yeah, it looks like the little bug you see in the corner on when you're watching TV. It looks like one of those. Like it should say CNN on top of it or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
but anyway, let me not enough hate for now. The ones I like. Um, hmm. So there was a couple that I actually kind of stood out to me. Um, Seth Moulton. Um,
You like
I
that one?
like the 2020 treatment. So he has 2020, and then in the
Oh,
middle it's a star, but it's got like an arrow in it pointing to the right or whatever. So I thought that was a pretty cool way to do the star. The word Seth Moulton, that the top part is not that amazing, but I like this treatment on the 2020. I thought that was nice.
oh, okay.
Um, let's see.
Okay, we're saying nice things. All right,
Yeah,
okay.
so I like John Hickenlooper's logo. Um, it does not look like a presidential logo because he only has like a light blue and a white for his colors. I think if you had thrown some red in there, it might have helped it a little bit. Maybe just a little bit of red,
Yeah.
like a couple stripes in the flags. Yeah,
In the
yeah, yeah.
mountains. That would have been cool. Yeah.
But I actually liked the logo. I thought it was pretty cool. Hickenlooper that's a wild name right there, but um, I like the logo. It
At least it's not Obama. Oh, bummer. Get it? All right, go
All
ahead.
right.
Sorry.
But I actually like that logo. I don't know if it is necessarily presidential, but I could definitely see this logo like on some outerwear, like some like Helly Hansen, like Hickenlooper.
Ellie
You know,
Hansen.
like some kind of ski jacket or something. This is a Hickenlooper jacket I have right here. Um,
Oh, you got the
yeah, son.
Hickenlooper?
I don't know. It looks very outdoorsy and
The Hickenlooper bubble.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
So I like the way it looks. Um, it looks well designed. The layout is good. I don't have any spacing issues, nothing like that. And I think it's cool how he, whoever designed it, did the flag as the mountains or whatever. Does it?
I just noticed that, and I'm like, all right, I see
Yeah,
what
I
you're
thought
doing.
he's.
I see the problem, the conundrum though here, because yeah, if you want to turn it, make some of those red, then the flag is
Yeah.
backwards. What are you saying about America?
Well, those lines could have easily pointed the other direction. You could do that same design and have the lines
That
point the other
could
way.
have also done that. I guess maybe, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it could have done that. I don't know if that would be a problem because it's guiding your eye out of the logo, or I don't know if they put that much thought into it, but
Yeah,
maybe we're seeing something they didn't
I don't
see.
know. I don't know,
But
but I thought I didn't think it was bad. Um, I
no,
wouldn't have minded some more color, like integrating the red in there, maybe in the name or in the 2020 would have maybe pulled it together a little more, or maybe even making that star yellow or something. I don't know, but I don't have a problem with that. The other one I like is Mike Gravel. Um, I think the font is very Google-ish. It reminds me of Google for some reason. The G at least reminds me of the Google G, but I thought the logo wasn't bad. I like what he did with the A with the little flag in it. It's very simple. So
I wanted that to be bigger.
yeah, that the A with the flag joint could have been bigger because it's easy to overlook that. But I didn't. It's not bad. It's just one of those things where like the design element is so small in there, it's easy to overlook.
Yeah. I would have made that bleed, like the blue bleed. I don't know. I would have integrated that more into the A to make it like a one
Mm.
element combined with the A, not like
Like,
grab
let's just
the
put that over
flag
the
icon.
top.
That's your lapel
Yeah.
pin right there. Boom.
Um, let's see. Any other ones that I like? Uh, the only other ones I would say like, yeah, those are probably the ones I like the best. There's a few other like that are like acceptable. Like Yang, I think is okay.
I
Andrew
like this.
Yang. It's very
Yeah, I
simple.
like this. I like that's that element with the flag and the stripe and the Y. That's what I mean. Like I would
Hmm.
have done for the A. I kind of like that one. I like the movement.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also different color, not your regular blue,
Yep.
red, white, and blue.
But then I mean, all the other ones they're okay. They're acceptable. They're middle of the road normal type of logos. But they're all kind of plain to me. Like the Elizabeth Warren is just like Warren. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I see where she's going there. It's very modern,
it's clean. I like that. It's a different color. I like Marianne Williamson's. It's very simple and plain, and it's got the pink in there. Get those women voters out there. Um,
I'm not sure how I feel about Beto's.
Beto O'Rourke. It just it looks like a sports logo. There's a couple of these that look like sports logos.
Yeah.
So Beto O'Rourke's logo looks like a sports team or something sports related. Uh, Kristen Kirsten Gildebrand. That could be a sports logo or that could be a restaurant. Um, Pete Buttigieg could definitely be a sports logo. Like if you put like three slashes under on that curve under his name, that would easily translate as a football. Um,
Oh yeah, I can see that
yeah,
on
it
the
definitely.
jersey.
I've definitely seen some kind of football logo that looked exactly like that. So those are ones like a lot of those are just yeah. I'm not gonna vote up
Yeah.
for them. If I was voting for them, I wouldn't vote for them based on their logo. Uh, and then the other one I was gonna mention quickly was John Delaney. John Delaney's logo looks like it reminds me of American Airlines or something like that. Something you would see on the tail of an airplane. It looks
Yeah.
like a airline logo.
It's definitely not like a progressive presidential logo. It looks like like, oh yeah, that's your presidential logo. I don't know. It's conservative as far as logos go. I would say that.
Yeah, but I mean most of these are not very far out the box.
No, I
What are
would.
you, which ones are your favorites other than Delaney, obviously?
My favorite. Um, favorites.
Aside from Weld and Trump.
I mean, not. I mean, I'm not mad at Buttigieg. logo. Honestly, I mean, I agree it does look like a football team, but I don't dislike it. It, maybe for presidential logo, it seems like what, but I don't dislike it just purely as a
Mhm.
logo. I don't dislike it. Julian's, it's not a whole lot going on, but I appreciate that he's on top of his branding. He was like one of the first one to come out with like his branding was all together. It was, succinct. I mean, this logo. I mean, I don't feel like I don't look at him as like, well, you could have just done this. It's like, no, I get it. It seems like a complete thought.
Yeah.
Um, Because I like. There was another one that I like. Um, I know you were hating on Kamala's. Um,
I figured out Kamala Harris's reminds me of like the opening credit screen for like a TV show.
Yeah, it's very feels very much like all right. Well, we're about to some kind of '70s
It makes me
show.
think
I
of
get
like
it though.
Martin
If
or
you look
something.
at
I don't know
her,
why, but yeah.
Martin. Oh, I was thinking about older than that, like something from the '70s, which makes sense with the her slogan that's for the people. So it kind of feels like it would be a poster or something. I don't know. I get it. I don't
Hmm.
hate her logo. It does. It stands out because of. I mean, also because of the color choices. It definitely
Yeah.
stands out from the other ones. But I don't. I kind of get what she's going there. I'm not mad at that one. Um, Somebody else's. Amy
Yeah.
for America. I think that one's fine. I mean, it feels very much like a women's
Yeah.
magazine, but I think it
Yeah. I like the
works.
green.
Um, yeah, it's a nice combination. You still got the blue in there. I like it. It kind of all flows together. Seems like a complete thought. I'm surprised you like Seth Moulton's. I mean, the 2020 is cool, but the rest of it is a completely different
Well, yeah, yeah,
idea.
yeah,
It
yeah.
looks
I
kind
don't
of
care for the
bad.
rest of it. The rest of it
It's
is
like
weird because the
Seth is not a name that you
if it
highlight.
so I think that logo would be a lot stronger without Seth. If it just said Molten 2020 and they
Yeah,
integrated the top of that star, like maybe pointing into the T or something like that. I
yeah,
don't know. They could have done something with that. And then with the name Molten,
yeah.
you
I
got two
definitely would.
zeros. I mean, you got two O's with the 2020. Like there's a whole lot of potential there, and I like that star. But
Yeah,
so let's be clear. The only thing I really liked was the 2020. The rest of it's got a lot of potential, but they dropped the ball.
I'll be. When I was scrolling down, I thought it was two separate things. So that's my thoughts on it. And I agree. Get rid of the Seth. Nobody wants to call you Seth anyway. Get out. Get that out of here. um, I mean, there's none that. I mean, Warren's. I'm not mad at honestly because it's so different. It's plain. It's simple, but it it
Hmm.
works. It's a complete thought. I'll say that. I mean, they could have done something in there to, make sure it's a presidential thing, not just, Warren, you know, magazine for selling whatever, Tupperware or whatever. It seems like a modern Tupperware logo or some modern, I don't know. It could be anything, honestly. It doesn't say
Yeah, it doesn't
you're
say
running for
anything. It's
president.
just Warren. You
Yeah.
already know.
I think Yang's is
Hmm.
my favorite, honestly. Yin Yang in the same from the ATL. Um, I don't know. I like what they did with the Y. I feel like that's creative, and I like the movement of it. So I think that one is my favorite. Um, Ones that I hate, other than Seth Moulton's. I don't hate it, but Wayne. Let's see the difference between Wayne Messam. I don't even know who that is, but why is his slogan "Wayne for America"? That doesn't
It
tell me
reminds
anything.
me of like, didn't Wayne
Um,
Brady have a logo like that?
which is funny. Amy's is Amy for
Yeah,
America.
he kind
You say,
of
all
jogged
right,
her style right
okay.
there.
Yeah, a little bit. She did it hers a little bit better. His feels a little
Yeah, the
bit dated,
gradient on the letters
but
definitely dates
otherwise,
it a little bit. It's not terrible though.
but 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 the way they want to do what they want to do for
Yeah, yeah.
America looks the same. See,
They're
see
doing
what I did
exactly the
there?
same thing for America. We're gonna hit you with some serif font for the
Mm.
four and sans serif, like Arial bold sans serif.
Need something different. Yeah, Inslee's. Yeah, that one is trash. Um, no, I mean it's trash for 2019. I'll say that. And I don't know what that looks like in black and white. I always go back to that. Like, how is that going to look with no color? And that one doesn't. I don't know how you do
It would
that with no
still
color,
work. It's
or
not
how
like
that
it's
would
gonna
look.
fall apart.
Well, would do you add the circle in there and just a line? Like,
I
what do
don't
you
know.
do? Because then it's just a stupid line. I mean, well, it's a stupid circle right now.
I don't know. That's just not good.
Well, and then I don't like the line. I don't like that the line is touching either. That's weird.
Yeah.
Don't make it touch my letters. That's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. It makes me uncomfortable. Because once again, in black and white, how does that work? It's going to have this bar at the bottom
Yeah,
of
in
it.
black and white, I imagine you'd have to drop the bar and the circle.
Yeah. And if I got to do all that, it sounds like if I've got to drop the bar, it seems like you've dropped the ball. Get it?
Just
Anyway,
too many things that aren't funny today.
it's all right. Um, Gillibrand's is also trash. Well, not trash.
It's not
It's just
really
not.
anything.
It's not good. It bothers me when thin or narrow fonts you space them out too much, and I feel like it's spaced out too much, and
Hmm.
it just bothers me.
I don't know. It just doesn't communicate anything at all. It's just it's like
No,
Warren.
not really.
Like so, Warren has the same thing except no 2020. But the issue with Gillibrand is, in my opinion, if they had introduced some color, like I guess that red is not your traditional red, but it's so little of it that it doesn't really communicate anything to me. Like Warren stands out to me a little because it's a different blue. It's on a green background, and it's no
That
20.
looks
Well,
like
it
pink to
might be
me.
pink. I don't know. We might be looking at some
Yeah,
lame version of the logo, but it just I don't know. It just doesn't communicate anything to me. That font particularly.
yeah. I think Tulsi's is interesting. I don't mean that as I like it. I think it's interesting. I mean, the
Hmm.
gradient in the letters, bold choice. I mean, she's from Hawaii, so I don't know if that's like a volcano type vibe. That's the way I read that. I could be wrong,
I'm
but that's the way I
hoping it's a
read that.
sunrise, not a volcano.
Oh, well, maybe because I knew she was from
Yeah, I
Hawaii. I
like
don't
the
know.
gradient on
Maybe that's just
there.
me.
I don't think it works for everybody, but I like it on there, and I like the font.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I like
unique
what
font.
was done with the font, the
It's
I and the
interesting.
T.
It's not like
Yeah.
Gillibrand and whoever else that was with the lame font. Cory Booker.
Yeah.
It's a better font, a good font choice.
Yeah, I think that one works. Yeah. Um, Other standouts, I mean, you listed some standouts for were just standouts, not for good reasons, but those are the only ones that stand out to me. I mean, I feel like we already talked about Biden's. I mean, his is all right. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it's nothing special.
I mean, but I mean, I don't know. Based on this, just what I'm seeing, oh, Eric
Yeah,
Swalwell. I
Air
feel like I've
Swallow
seen that
looks
before.
like I swear I've seen something like that that said like U.S. Army or something else like in that same format. So
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
It's
that's
not good.
done. Yeah. Um, Marion Williamson's. I feel like hers is kind of
So I've seen another
forgettable.
variation of Marion's. Um, I'd have to find it, but it was like on a pink background, and I thought it like I like the font
Hmm.
Marianne. I guess that's how you say it. I like the font
Yeah.
choice. The 2020 stacked is eh, like that's nothing.
It's too small, I think. I almost feel like I want it to be bigger just to create a little, even just so it feels a little wrong, but it gives you a
Hmm.
little bit more of a
I don't know. So
feeling.
I saw hers the
But
same exact logo, but like a pink background around the whole thing. Like so, there's a white box around the logo and the pink
yeah,
background around that. And I thought that it made it pop out better than just seeing it the way it is there. But I don't have a problem
yeah.
with hers. I
Yes, now it
do
looks just
again wish that there was some like design element in there other than oh we filled in the circles on your 20s. Yeah,
now it
it's
just
just
looks like a
like they didn't
snail.
really do anything. But because like Marianne, you could have done something
Yeah,
with that E with some stripes.
yeah, easy. Of course, that's been done 1,000 times, but
Yeah, I mean Biden did, but it's a easy like oh let's if you want to throw a flag into your logo, I think that's a quick and easy way to do it. But again, I think in this election, a lot of people are trying to stand out by being different, and that means not necessarily having a flag in your logo. Maybe you just have your name with a line under it, or maybe you have
Yeah.
your name with 2020 next to it, or something like that. So I think some of these are doing those, and then some of these are more along the traditional. They have all the traditional elements like Yang or Cory Booker or like Buttigieg doesn't have it, but a lot of them have the traditional elements, but then they're trying to do something different with it.
Yeah. I feel like looking through these, I feel like Kamala stands out the most for me, honestly. I don't mean it's like my favorite design, just as far as like just all the logos next to each
You
other.
know,
It stands out more than any of the other ones.
yeah. In terms of what's going to catch my eye, if I just saw all these somewhere, I would say probably Amy, however you say her
Hmm.
last name, and Kamala Harris. Both of those are broadly different colors, but I do think that like Elizabeth Warren and maybe even Marianne Williamson, because they have some nice colors to work with. Like she's got a nice pink and she's got like a purplish blue. Marianne does, and then Amy's got that
Hmm.
green. Elizabeth Warren has a green and a different interesting blue. So those are interesting colors, and so I feel like they have some good elements to work with. I haven't seen their full like branding package or like their stage setup and all that type of stuff, but they've
Yeah.
got some strong elements to work with. Whereas some of these, they're like Eric Swalwell, he just got the regular old crap you see everywhere. God bless America, and it's like, all right. And Kamala has, I don't know, I'd have to see her stuff, but I just don't, I don't like the logo, but I do say that that would catch my eye.
Yeah, because it it feels
Like one
wrong
of
in a
these
way.
don't doesn't fit.
It's not a 2019 color palette. I'll say that.
No, it's not.
And that doesn't make it stand out. I mean, I get the vision with that combined with the message and all that. It makes sense. But yeah. Yeah, but that, and I mean, that's my thought. I mean, but yeah, voting purely on strong design, best design, I would go with Yang at this point. But this is just our first round. We'll see who survives
Well, what about the two Republican logos?
the two.
Yeah, there's Trump, Pence, and Bill Weld.
Um, Bill Weld just looks like the inverse of the Trump one, but
Well, I would
um,
say so. Of the two, Weld gets my vote
yeah, well,
because
yeah,
Weld it's
and it's
designed a
hard
little
to be
better.
unbiased, but
Well, no,
yeah,
I'm not
it's a
talking
little bit,
strictly on design. Not talking about anything that Trump
yeah,
has done, which has all been amazing. But like the Weld's logo, it's not a good logo by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a little more designed than the Trump Pence.
yeah, it's stronger. I'll say that.
Yeah,
It definitely like has a stronger like boom. I'm right here. Look at me. Um, but yeah, it's not. There's no real. They could have done a little bit of designing. Some stars in the middle or something. In the white that split up the blue and the
mm-hmm.
red. There could have been something, some little element to add a little bit of life or like just some kind of personality to it. Because I'm not getting any kind of personality out of it.
Yeah, they don't. It's like well, for both of these logos, they don't feel like they need to. There's nothing to communicate. Like, look at me. And what are your
Yeah.
options?
Well,
What are you gonna do?
yeah, because Trump's looks like some kind of like
That looks like something.
thrift store sign or something.
Yeah,
Some kind of pop up whatever generic thing wherever that somebody put up that doesn't is less focused on design and more on just look at this sign that I made.
hmm
And hmm. But those are my thoughts.
Well, like I said
I
earlier,
guess we'll have to see how it
we'll
goes.
definitely follow up at some point to once the field has been narrowed to give you our choices from a design perspective on who you should vote for in the 2020 elections. Um,
Hmm. Your trusted
yeah,
source. Um, yeah, that's what we got. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, there's strong contenders out here.
nah. I mean, honestly, I don't keep it 100. I don't think
I'm
any of
in for
these logos
design.
are that amazing.
No, me
I like
neither.
Hickenlooper though. I'm not gonna front. I like Hickenlooper's logo.
I will say this: the way they are on this page that we're looking at, they're all stacked together, and it's kind of hard to look at and appreciate some logos by
hmm
themselves. They don't, which may speak to the design. If they can't stand out when they're stacked together next to something else, then maybe it's not good
Well,
enough.
so that's the other thing I want to do at some point is actually go to some of these people's websites and look at like their branding as a whole, like all of it together. Because
Yeah,
like you said, they're out here with everybody else around. So if I can see their stuff all together as a cohesive unit, then I might change my opinion on some of these from a branding perspective, not necessarily the logo,
yeah.
because I can judge your logo just sitting here. But there are some of these
Well,
logos
we'll
that I've
do that.
seen like positioned differently with a different background or with more pictures and all this other stuff around them, and I was like, oh, okay, I
Yeah,
see what you tried to do. Like I see how it could work in this place. It didn't work over here
yeah.
by itself, but I can see how it could potentially work somewhere else.
So when should we do an update on that? Would that be the next episode when we narrow it down? Because I'm not trying to check out Michael Bennett's website right now.
Why not?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't want to look at everybody's
Well, no, no, no,
website.
no. I'm not saying we're gonna do that in some episode right now or anytime soon. Um, and once the
Okay.
primary
Well, I'm
starts,
just
I'm thinking
wondering,
we'll
like, if
come
we,
back to this and revisit some of these logos and things like that because
yeah, when we narrow it down a little bit.
there are some like, for instance, Tim Ryan. I think that could have potential. I just might be seeing them in the wrong place. So that's that.
His logo?
I think it has some potential.
I mean, I'll say this. His compared to, yeah, it's more visually pleasing, I guess, compared to Cory Booker's. But Cory Booker's stands out more, partially because it's wrong.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's hard to stop looking at it because I'm like something's wrong here. But whereas like
yeah,
Julian Castro or Tim Ryan, I can just take a glance like, yeah, that's right, you did it right, good job.
yeah. Which I don't know if that's the design goal to stand out by being
hmm
wrong. I don't know if any. Well, I mean, I've done that maybe sometimes, just doing something that I don't think looks best, but I do understand it. I don't know what that was the goal behind
hmm
that though. I'm not giving people that much credit, not really, but it does stand
Yeah,
out because it is crowded. I mean, and it's I will say that it does stand out. But I don't know if that's just me or us as designers wanting to look at it and correct it, or if it does that for other people, or other people just don't care.
I don't know. Well, I mean, so I think a lot of this goes back to stuff we talked about in previous episodes. I know we talked about outrage marketing, and of course, with the last election, we saw how uh, it was more around some of the antics that got people attention and less around their position on different topics and political experience or anything like that. And so I think that may be why some of these people have chosen to go the way they've gone with their logos. I'm not gonna say that for everybody, but I mean, like we pointed out, there are a lot of logos that are using non-traditional colors, non-traditional, kind of styles and graphic elements. No stars and no stripes and none of that, like stuff like that. And I think that's because people were like, "Oh, you can win without playing by the rules." Okay.
I thought it was because they didn't love America, but
Well, I mean,
hey.
they when you do that, you are supporting the terrorists, but it's whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It should be interesting because yeah, I am interested in we can do a bit deeper dive into their whole branding strategy and we'll see.
Yep.
We can interview them on the convention floor one day. It's like, why did you design this? That's like, yeah, never mind.
So, in our television segment, is Game of Thrones over? Okay.
Yeah,
How disappointed were you
with it being
with
over
how it
or
ended?
with the episodes. Um, I wasn't that. It didn't bother me that much,
Mm,
honestly. It's not like I wasn't invested. I was invested. I guess I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen worse. I've seen shows end a lot worse, so it didn't bother me that much. I think a lot of people just hate when
hmm
things end, which I totally understand. I mean, when have you ever heard of a show ending and everybody's like, "Oh wow, that was perfect." I'm glad it's
Yeah.
over. They really wrapped that story up clean, and nobody, I was, the deaths that were perfect. I'm glad that doesn't happen. Nobody wants something to end. I mean, sometimes it can happen, I guess, but a lot of times it doesn't end because shows get ended for a variety of reasons. Like they can just get canceled, and then like you just gotta end up like with what happened.
Everybody just dies, and they try and close it up real nice, real fast.
Yeah, that's what happened with Into the Badlands. But it just it gets messy. So I mean, I don't know. I wasn't mad at it. I mean, I understand people's complaints and everything, but I think also I watched a documentary that was about the making of the last season. And I mean, you get a different appreciation for what goes into it, and it makes me people having a petition about remaking it. It's like, man, these people worked hard. They did.
Mm-hmm.
There was even a black guy also. He was
One.
he was the head of snow. He was in charge of like putting snow in places. I respect it. Yeah. It was not a Jeezy album, but but yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't mad. I mean, everything does have to end. I'm not mad at it. Sure, I mean, I would like, oh, I wish this happened or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
So what are you gonna do now? With your Sunday evenings?
Um.
Taking up a new hobby like crocheting or knitting or something?
Yeah, or maybe work on some of my old hobby. I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff to watch. Well, we didn't watch it on Sunday night. We did watch When They See Us though.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
I saw that.
Not When They See Us though. When They See Us.
I've seen stuff about that, but I haven't watched that. I've been watching.
Oh, if you want to get good and depressed.
Yeah, I've been avoiding. There's a couple like documentaries and docuseries on Netflix. I was like, yeah, I need to check this out, but now's not the time. I work with too many white people. I don't want to watch it. So
yeah, it's. I mean, it's not all bad. I mean, there's some white people that looked out in there, you know. But yeah, it's a hard watch. I mean, there is like a somewhat happy ending. I was saying million because I did get millions, but there was a somewhat, it's, things, I'm happy for where things are now. There's more that can be done, and I think they deserve more money probably. More people need to get come forward, well, because like the main prosecutor, she's getting dragged. But maybe after you watch it, maybe we can talk about it more. But I don't know what it has to do with branding, but I mean, well, no, there are some branding elements to that. So maybe we can talk about that after you watch it.
Word. I've just been watching. So I recently finished Altered Carbon.
Oh,
Somebody told me that was good.
that was cool.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I'd like to maybe see a second season because it was like a lot of stuff. It's a whole lot of story there they didn't wrap up, but I thought it was interesting the way they did it.
It was like it ended and was like, this stuff is still messed up. I mean,
yeah. I knew they weren't gonna fix. There was no way they were gonna fix everything that was wrong in like the last two episodes, but
yeah,
I thought it was interesting how they did it because a lot of shows they'll start off and you're like, okay, who is this? Why am I following them? And then the next episode or two they reveal everything. The backstory is told, and then you just go into your climax and the end.
yeah.
But this one, they didn't give much backstory on this guy until like almost near the end of the show, and then they explain like his connection with that girl and
Yeah.
like, how he used to be an Asian dude and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Well, the next season they already cast Anthony Mackie,
Oh,
so guess he's about to be black. I guess.
I didn't know there
don't
was a next season. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
they already cast that, and what is her name? From she was from Black. I mean, Luke Cage, Misty Knight. Yeah, Simone Missick.
Yeah.
She's in it too.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
what she's doing, but yeah, she's in it too. So yeah, that's already working apparently. So
That's good. At least it's good to hear she got a job after all this stuff, like
yeah,
all the Luke Cage and everything going on.
She's a good. She did good. So I mean, yeah, I don't. That's unfortunate for everybody else on there, but I mean, yeah,
They'll find a job. They'll be all right.
yeah, it'll be alright. Hopefully, but
Other than that, I mean, I know you told me to check out that Love, Death, and Robots.
yeah,
I thought that was pretty good.
yeah. No, it was. Yeah, I was like, I want to
see.
see more of those. Yeah,
Yeah, because they were all short. There was a few that were kind of not that great, but
Yeah.
most of them were pretty good, and there was at least one of them with the model, the 3D graphics. For a while, I was like, is this live action or
Oh,
is
the
this
one with the
animated?
girl and she's running and trying to like figure out like she saw the guy killed somebody in the window.
No, that one was not. That one did not fool me as being real.
Well, I was just trying to figure out how they filmed that because it was obviously built on some real stuff.
Well, no,
Like
that was just all 3D animation.
it looked mad realistic. Like some of the movements and stuff look really like
Well, yeah,
really.
there were some that looked very, very lifelike, and it wasn't until most of them it only broke down when the person started talking. Like, so you
Mm.
know the one with the spider, the guy that got trapped like in a spider web or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That one looked at the beginning
That one
before they
was
got trapped.
funny because like the some of the people looked good on there, and then the black guy on there looked like he looked ashy. He just looked rough. Like what did y'all like? They went overboard trying to make him realistic, and everybody else was kind of
I don't know, but at the beginning they looked very, very realistic. But it was only when they started talking that the movements were a
yeah,
little off, and I'm like, ah,
yeah. And I thought like I don't know. I was debating. It's like is the girl real and the guy is fake? I couldn't tell, but sometimes she looked. I don't know. They did a good job
mm-hmm.
on that one. So,
Yep,
but no, that was cool. I mean, I would like to see more stuff from whoever those people that made that stuff. Some of those I was like, oh, I'll watch another episode of that.
yeah. I think it's impressive when you only have like limited, like let's say most of those were like under 30 minutes. Some of them were like 10 to 15 minutes. When you only have
Yeah,
that long and you got to explain your characters and build a connection with your characters so the person cares about them.
yeah,
Like, because there was one where the lady with the spaceship that just survived, lucky number 13 or whatever it was,
hmm,
and they did a pretty good job of it was a character that didn't even do anything. It was a spaceship, but they
yeah,
built the story around it, and they did a pretty good job of building that whole story. And you felt bad for the character and everything.
yeah,
And it wasn't even like 10 or 15 minutes. So
yeah.
it take
That's
it's not that easy to do that in that short time period.
that's another one that did good with the animation because she's a real person.
Oh,
Yeah,
didn't know
like
that.
she was in what I know her from is Orange is the New Black, but she's
Oh,
in
okay.
a bunch of other.
I thought
Yeah,
she looked like her.
she looks exactly. Yeah, that's her. So, um, yeah, no, they did a good job with that. But yeah, no, there was a bunch of them that it it was interesting,
Hmm.
um, and impressive and everything. So it was cool. I mean, some of them seemed kind of like, but I don't know. It is what it is. They did a good job creating it, nevertheless, even if the storyline wasn't amazing. They looked, all of them. I can't criticize any of them for how they looked.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
um,
Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a comment uh, or a like and a review on iTunes or whatever. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in. If you have any questions or ideas for future episodes, be sure to leave those in a comment or something, or contact us on our social media.
questions and yeah,
Our social media, of course, is Alien Muffin. That is on Instagram. On SoundCloud, we're IC Pixels. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, we're Alien Muffin. So thanks for tuning in. If you're looking for something to wear, check out our shop, alienmuffin.threadless.com. Got t-shirts and things out there.
mm,
Any last words?
I'm hungry.
Me too.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to you good folks later.